G'day everyone, I'm Jazza, and today we're going to get a little bit inky. There are artists out there who participate in something called Inktober, which is, according to the Inktober website, 31 days of October where you're to create 31 ink drawings. This is just like, it's not a competition or anything, it's just like a community-based thing where people opt in to create ink artworks in October to stretch their wings or try something they haven't tried, or just, I don't know, get more into ink drawing for a month. Why not? So the Inktober rules are to make a drawing in ink, and it says you can do pencil underneath if you want, and then post it, hashtag with Inktober/Inktober 2019 and repeat. Now, the repeat thing is where I run into trouble. Even if I make it content, I can't make the same sort of content for a month. It's just a bad idea as a YouTuber. What I will do, however, though, is create one piece of October ink content in this video to get as inky as I can and use all of the prompts that they provide in a creative way. And I really do, I want to sink my teeth in and have a lot of fun in a few different ways with a few different prompts. And they actually provide prompts for you to work with. And you can see there are previous year's prompts here if you want to work with those, but it's just like a fun way to get some ideas to work with. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use all of the 2019 prompts and randomly generate 5 different drawings, and I'm going to work on them in different periods of time, getting more time to work on the illustration as I work with more prompts at once. Are you intrigued? Good. So to do this, I'm using the JAZZA'S app. Those of you who don't know, this is an app that I've made and completely revamped and updated as of a few weeks ago. So if you have the JAZZA'S app, you can simply just go update it and it'll all be there. But if you haven't checked out the JAZZA'S app, it has a whole bunch of different art games you can play. But the thing I'm going to be using in this video is the custom generator. And the way this works is you can actually build your own lists of entry items that you put together. And I'm going to put in all 31 of the Inktober prompts into one list, and I'm going to generate that to randomly give me the prompt. Ooh, there's dragon in here. I like dragons. I hope I got dragon. What else we got? We got ash, frail, swing, pattern, overgrown. That's cool. 21. Treasure, ghost. Oh, these are cool prompts. Ancient. Catch is 30, and then 31 is ripe. So there we go. I've got all of the prompts in my Inktober list now. I'm just going to tick done, select Inktober, and I've got 5 slots that I can fill. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do 5 ink drawings today, and with each ink drawing, I'm going to give myself more time to do the drawing, but also more prompts. And I'm going to start off with 1 prompt and 5 minutes, and I'm going to double my time every round. So round 2, I'll have 2 prompts from the list randomly generated for 10 minutes. Round 3, I will have 3 prompts and 20 minutes. Round 4, I will have 4 prompts and 40 minutes, and the last round will be 5 prompts in 80 minutes, which is like an hour and a quarter or something. I don't know. Anyways, now I'm not going to stick to these times exactly. It's not so much about the time, just about the increasing challenge. So I'm not going to be exactly pens down when the timer runs out. If I finish a little before or a little after, that's fine. I'm just sort of giving myself a rough guide to work with so I can get more ambitious as I go. So let's see how we go. Starting off with the prompt, ash is my first prompt. Let's go. So of course, with the first prompt being Ash and having a roughly 5-minute time limit, of course the first thing that came to mind was Ash Ketchum and Pokemon. So I started off by drawing Ash Ketchum, and the way I know him, I always get confused at the different versions of Ash, like he has different symbols on his cap and stuff. Maybe you can explain in the comments to me what the different hat signs and what the deal is, but there is only one Ash Ketchum to me, and that's the one with the weird half triangle L-shaped symbol on his head and the blue and white sort of vesty jacket thing. And now I'm gonna get ripped apart in the comments by people who are gonna just be ashamed of the fact that I don't know much about future Pokemon things. I'm an OG Pokemon guy, okay? I know Ash and Pikachu and all the original Pokemon, but beyond the first like 180 or whatever it is, I'm a noob, sorry. But you know what I'm not a noob at? Settling into a cozy process of drawing a picture. I love getting my teeth sunk into some drawings, and starting off with 5 minutes was a good way to break the ice, but now it's time to move on to double the time to my 10-minute prompts, which were build and overgrown. Now, the first thing that comes to mind if something is overgrown is something that's old, and for me, when I feel like drawing something that's old, I usually tend towards doing something medieval. So of course, I did a castle, not a historically accurate castle. Fans of Shadowversity, don't tear me apart. I'm just making myself vulnerable with this video. I don't know everything about everything, okay? I just know some things about some things. And that's all I need to know to draw some pictures of them. I tried playing a bit with the calligraphy pen in this video just to, I don't know, feel something different in my hand as far as having a slightly angled chisel tip to the drawing process. And this was really fun. It did loosen me up a little bit, and I sort of alternated between that and a fine liner to create some interesting silhouettes and shading. And I really did want to create a little bit of tonal variation, some different values, some dark areas and a little bit of shading, and overall create a sense of texture and age, because after all, we're creating an overgrown, old-looking building. So that's what I tried to do to get that, and I feel like it worked out pretty well. The overgrown part, of course, being, you know, just some of the vines, the long grass, and then some trees poking up through the building that over the hundreds of years that this castle has been decimated have been growing out of it. So now, with double the time on top of that, we have 20 minutes, and the prompts are Ghost, Overgrown, and Treasure. These were pretty cool prompts. I was pretty stoked with this combination, and of course the first thing that comes to mind is a pirate and pirate's treasure. And what sort of ghost is it? Well, you know it's going to be a pirate ghost. Hell yeah. I love the idea of having a pirate that was either digging up or burying his treasure and died in the process, and his ghost stands there forever to guard his treasure, even as the trees and the shrubs and the palm trees slowly overgrow the area. You see, that's what I was going for. And I think this worked out pretty well, and look, any chance to include a skeleton in an illustration, and I'm pretty happy. I hope that the idea carried. I tried to create a few elements of the dead pirate that echoed through the ghost, particularly the hat, the eye patch, and just a few features like the puffy sleeves and the coat, just so that it can be clear enough to be read fairly simply that they're essentially the same person. And then after the core elements of the image have been incorporated, I went on to texture the environment and the island behind the character. Next, it was time to get really serious and sink my teeth into it with a 4-prompt 40-minute illustration. And the prompts were ancient, husky, catch, and mindless. And this was a lot of fun to sink my teeth into. Now, speaking of sinking your teeth into something, I wanted to take a moment to just share the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. They're a huge support to the channel, and it really fits in thematically with the video today, particularly because the point of something like Inktober is to try something new and develop your skills in something specific. But if you're particularly excited and inspired by the ink theme of today's video, there are over 800 search results on Skillshare of courses relating to and incorporating ink in their lessons. So if you want to learn bravery in your inking, or learn hatching techniques, or calligraphy styles and pen and ink florals, if you want to learn digital ink or watercolor ink, if you want to explore folk art aesthetics or manga and anime styles, inking is just one of the many themes like animation, illustration, graphic design, business, and loads more on Skillshare, with their over 30,000 plus courses that you can check out. And you can check them out for free for 2 months with a link in the description. So go check it out. 2 months of free Skillshare to access all of their courses, so you can check out how awesome it is and why I recommend it so much on this channel. And once again, of course, a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Now, last but not least, we have the 5-prompt challenge, which totals to 1 hour and 20 minutes of drawing time. And the prompts were enchanted, wild, injured, ash, and catch. And you know that it's going to be Pokemon related, especially with ash and catch following each other in the words of the prompts. I mean, I didn't have a choice. I tried to get as detailed as I could here. At the end of the day, Pokemon does have an anime slash manga sort of slightly more simplistic and cartoony style, so there's only so much detail that I can realistically add, but I tried to add a lot of depth in this piece by having Ash and Pikachu injured in the mid-ground of the piece, Ash being protective of Pikachu and taking his final stand against the enchanted wild Pokemon that he's seen, of course, who is Mewtwo. Again, trying to really create that sense of contrast by having Mewtwo have a nice thick outline and some solid shading sections among the cell shading of the character, and then trying to build up some layers and depth with the background by adding these lines that sort of indicate smoke, also to create a bit of a battlefield aesthetic. Last but not least, I wanted to create a little bit more drama and give Ash a sense of hope, because otherwise so far it just looks like he's in a lot of trouble standing there pointing at Mewtwo. But of course, the ever-powerful and defiant Charizard's silhouette behind him shows that there may yet be one more person on his team. And so without any further ado, it's time to have a look back at the results of my inky activity, starting off with my 5-minute prompt. We started with ash, and as you know, we ended with ash, but this is just a reminder of what it looked like after just 5 minutes and with it being my first drawing. And I definitely think I improved later in the drawings, but I feel like this was a pretty fair effort for a 5-minute drawing. Next, the prompts were build and overgrown. I had a lot of fun with this, and those of you who've followed my channel for a while know that I tend to not love doing environments, but I'm finding it more enjoyable, especially if I think about drawing environments sort of like characters. So having an overgrown old building was a nice way to sort of create a nice overgrown environment little section that felt like it had a bit of character. And of course I had to go medieval because I find that stuff cool. So that one took me 10 minutes, then on to 20 minutes where the prompts were ghost, overgrown, and treasure. I think this turned out pretty cool. It's a little hard to read it as a ghost. I tried to create a bit of a see-through look in his leg here, but I feel like it mixes these prompts pretty well. The thing I found most appealing through the process was actually sort of realizing that the story was being told as I was creating it. And by the end, I had a scene that really felt like it did tell a story, like there was a beginning, middle, and an end, and maybe even something to come. This pirate may have been burying his treasure or digging up some treasure, but either way, he perished in the process, and his ghost awaits or guards the treasure, which is now on the shores of an overgrown deserted island, whatever you call it. Ghost, overgrown, and treasure, all there in the 20-minute prompt. Then we move on to the 40-minute scene. This, I've got to say, I had a lot of fun with. And again, environment's not usually the thing that I find myself enjoying, but I really did sink my teeth into this one and get a lot of satisfaction out of creating a whole bunch of visuals, a silhouette that pulls the eye in, trying to create a mood and a bit of mystery. The prompts for this, of course, were ancient, husky, catch, and mindless. And we have this guy heading out to mindlessly catch an ancient husky. And obviously it's a bit mindless because he didn't realize he should have backed down a long time ago. That net's not gonna do it for you, buddy. Sorry. Last but not least, my 5-prompt illustration is a 1 hour, 20-minute drawing. It didn't take as long as that. I ended about 10 minutes early, but I think really it's because it's all I felt I could do with this piece. Now, of course, the prompts for this were enchanted, wild, injured, ash, and catch. And I thought, you know what? I got ash again, and I could have gone a different way and done like ash from like a fire or something, but you know what? I started off with ash. I thought, why not finish with ash? And of course, the word after ash was catch, so it had to be Ash trying to catch a Pokemon. A wild, enchanted Pokemon, but he and Pikachu were injured, so on his last stand, he has Charizard in the background ready to go in and help catch that Pokemon. So, I was trying to go with something a little tricky with the shading here. I'm not entirely satisfied with it, but ink is one of those things where once it's down, it's down. There's no going back. So I did try and do a little bit of an interesting shadow thing to go with the form of the clouds. I don't think it worked very effectively, but you know what? It's about trying, and I tried something new. It didn't fully work, but a lot of the other stuff I tried, I feel like it did work, and I had a lot of fun going through the process of incrementally challenging myself. I have to say, this one is my favorite. Let me know what your favorite of these illustrations and prompts were in the comments down below, and let me know if you've been planning to or are participating in Inktober and the way you go about it. Maybe you are short on time and you've come up with a little workaround like I have as well. At the end of the day, art and Inktober, or whatever it is you're doing, it's about getting your hands dirty, trying some new things, whether you succeed or fail, learning along the way, and having a lot of fun. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to please hit that like button so other people can enjoy it. It's one of the ways that YouTube knows that you enjoyed it and can recommend to other people. And if you did enjoy it and you're new here, please subscribe because we have a lot of fun with art and creativity here. And if you enjoyed this video, you're going to enjoy the other videos on this channel and plenty more we have coming. Speaking of other videos on this channel, there's a few over there you might enjoy. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later.